What's the map? What's the map? Black Forest. Alright. I'm kind of thinking this is going to be LoS's home map. And looking at the civilizations, we have Goh as Celts, Miguel Zin as Spanish, Floyd as Mongols, and against them we have the mirror, Mango Mongols, Yezri Spanish, and Follow Your Mind Celts. Follow Your Mind, that's Exit, maybe you know him under this nickname, and he participated in RTSD quite a lot in the past years with RVK, winning some titles already, so yeah, that's a pretty strong guy to join CZ. Looking at the pockets, we have Pink Floyd as Mongols for LoS, and against him we have Blue, that's Follow Your Mind, that's Celt. So Celt pocket versus Mongol pocket. And I just got the news that it's actually a Czech home map, so that's kind of unexpected to me. I would be expecting some kind of water map from them, but yeah, that's how it goes. Looking at some of the early walling attempts, we already see that Teal together with Red are really going at it. Red really wanted to make sure that he actually can wall up, going with two walls, two villages rather. And there was some nice attempt, it seemed, to actually get this herdable through the walls, but yeah, in the end unsuccessful, and Teal actually covered it together with a relic, so that's a nice bonus on Black Forest. Very nice indeed. Anyway, the wall is finished, and I was looking at the top. Well, green already finished with the villas as well, and that's a common thing here for CZ clan. Send into villas just to be sure, in case they met some wolves. I'm just looking at this huge, I don't know what's the group of boars being called, but yeah, 6 boars, that's pretty brutal. Together with this hunt, so yeah, that's pretty nice. And that will make Yezri's game pretty nice. Now the two balls between him and his teammate in the pocket, so that's also nice. Gold here and here. This is kinda not ideal, because it might prevent a villager gathering from the other side, so possibly might slow him down, but yeah, he has some backups here and at the top as well, so shouldn't really worry all that much about it. That seems like some kind of landmass cove here with relic and a bit of wolves, and actually a very short way to cut through using mangonas or other onagers to get through to enemy base. So yeah, players better be careful about this. You should really be seeing it without problem, as you know, Black Forest is played unexplored. And well, let's have a look at the opponents then. Goh. Alright, just now building house, already gathering wood. Nice stone mines, gold mine as well. Yeah, a lot of gold. He has a better, slightly better position of the gold mine. But otherwise, kinda okay. Double wall, and at the bottom, it's just single wall. Okay, so they're just doing that. And I was looking in the middle. Actually, middle is very open, which is, I think, kinda unusual. And so far, it's just scout battle. And nobody extra. That's, wow, all 6 scouts at one spot. Yeah. That's pretty funny, and a lot of wolfies. So I'm kind of thinking someone might want to try a wolf train to actually get it all 4 and lead them to opponent's base. That actually wouldn't be the worst kind of idea, I think. I just remember the video there on YouTube from someone, I'm not sure what it was. Maybe Resonance. I'm not sure, but yeah, it was really fun. Anyway, a lot of stone relic in the middle, so it's kind of going to be important who's going to capture this middle ground. It would be natural for CZ to build a wall here, obviously, which I think is going to happen sooner rather than later, same as here. But, oh, those walls, that's not really nice. But yeah, they see that, so it shouldn't be all that of a surprise. And how's going to be the wall for LoS? It will be kind of natural to draw it somewhere here, but it's very close in their base and very close to actually threaten their future trade route. So I'm not exactly sure if they want to be that passive. I kind of think not. This middle island, or middle water, rather has 3 fish. Not exactly sure what's the correct number, 3 or 4 for the dock to actually make any sense. And well, players will have to think about that. This is just 2, so that shouldn't be worth it. And nice gold at the back for red here as well. And yeah, LoS are just talking about where to wall, and it seems like they will be forced to actually go pretty defensively and build the walls right inside their bases, which should relinquish quite a lot of map to CZ, and kinda thinking they will know what to do with that. Mango right now advancing to feudal, that's pretty soon at 8 minutes. He's 20 villies, yes there is 19, alright, so I'm kinda thinking switching into Mango and to see if he's been slung. Kinda thinking that might be the case since he's really fast as opposed to his opponents or even teammates. I'm kinda thinking that will be happening. Alright, you can see that Pink Floyd is building a mill, and that's for a sole reason that he has a lot of hand here together with boars, so that he doesn't have to draw them all the way back to his home base. But at the same time, he's open to raiding from green and blue, and he already lost his scout, so that's not really great. And if red can advance soon enough, he might actually disrupt the yellow's economy quite a lot, where he is actually dropping. He just building palisades to see when the wolves are drawn out of position. And alright, he's dropping here. So he will be very interested in going through the middle. And that really might spell disaster for yellow. Okay, this is one scout just waiting here to actually protect the release. And we have other guys actually advancing, this time from LoS. That's Gach and Floyd. Follow your mind. Right now, following. Following the mind of his opponents. And otherwise, let's have a look around the map once we have time. So at the back we have 1 gold, 2 golds, 3 golds for yellow. That's pretty safe for him. And stone is kinda okay as well. We're just now dropping barracks to actually protect himself. And how's it looking for teal? A bit of stone, gold. Yeah, it's kinda occluded by this wood, so it's not really ideal for gathering, but this other one is okay. And otherwise, yeah, he's trying to protect himself because he's expecting a lot of pressure from CZ actually here. And you can see that that was a grey one, I think. That was Guch's. Alright, so he's dead. And Miguel's is right now the only one with scout. And it seems like Willies are joining the fight, yeah. Well, that's pretty important because they are right now dropping guard, and you can see that actually red is going for scouts and he's aiming to disrupt this as much as he can. Alright. You better be careful though. Drop the scout cavalry. Nothing from barracks, and just scout cavalry here going. And he's not being slung, as I don't see any messages for him. So it's just his strategy to go that fast. And this might seem like actually CZ are losing the battle, but that's not really the case, because you can see that's 4 villagers not gathering anything. That means that Pink Floyd's economy right now at just, how is it, 25 villies is just basically at 21. So they defended, but at a pretty bad cost, I think, to the economy. That was like at least a minute of fighting, which means a minute less of resources. And right now, this one pikeman will pretty much take care of those guys. But, where are you going? For the fish and a dock? Alright, so they decide that it's enough for a dock. And I'm actually thinking it might be for support of galleys rather than the fishing boats. Let's see what will happen once this is dropped. So far, he doesn't probably have the resources. Yeah, he's kinda strong, so he better be careful about what he does, and he needs to do it right. And yellow has just walled in, and that means that red is actually going inside their bases and looking for his way into teal's base. At the left, you can see that red definitely doesn't want anyone getting through, so he's just reinforcing the walls. Up top, not really happening anything interesting. And how's it looking here with the dock? Still nothing extra. And will these guys stick here? They probably will. I would make, just to confuse the opponent, Fangele maybe to force those villages off. But I trust that Mango actually knows what he's doing. And alright, red is trying to raid, but not really successfully, because as you could see earlier, there's a lot of palisades ready. Pink Floyd has his stone village nicely protected, and Teal already built this way back, because he knew that there won't be any protection through walls right around here, and he just opted for this kind of game. Guys advancing into castle, pretty much everybody. Yeah, that's just 5 castles right there. Only one who isn't is a Mango, who went into a bit of a feudal fight with the scouts. And, well, he's not really having all that much luck, so let's see if it will actually be worth it. Alright, he just Dattel, it's best of two. It's just 2 games, home map each. This is just a group stage. It should be written under the scoreboard at the top. And well, it seems like Blue is actually interested in making sure that nobody gets through. And maybe, just maybe, this one Willy will join Red here in the middle. At the top, we see that Goh is actually trying to reinforce the walls, not with another walls, but with houses, which is something he needs to do, and it saves him extra stone. Is he getting enough of it? No, not really, just now going for town center. Okay, so he's booming, and I'm kinda expecting that everybody will be doing the same. Yeah, second TC from Yezris. Third, alright, so that's 3 TC from green. As for blue, we have second TC, third TC, alright, 3 TCs. Actually, that's a 4 TC boom for blue. This is kinda interesting. He might want to actually go through there, even though not for the fish, but for the gold. In the middle, we see a bit of a battle where actually Mango finally discovered some Willies to take a shot at. Yeah, but that's a bit more than he hoped for. And yeah, he finally built some of the galleys that I thought would be a nice idea to actually force Pink Floyd off this hunting spot. And it's successful, even though kinda late because the board is almost done. So it's not that much of a problem for yellow. He would have to run anyway. The castle has been dropped on nice position from Miguelzin, and that means that Red actually has to improve his reinforcements, or rather his defenses, because even though he already built double stone wall, this will be down sooner rather than later. You really need just a few petards from the castle and you'll be in. So how's it actually again? Looking for Miguelzin. Yeah, these are the petards. These are the petards, and 1, 2, 3 TCs for him. Otherwise, in the middle, still not much interesting going on. And how's it looking for yellow? 1, 2, 3 TCs. There may be someone a fourth. Yeah, fourth. 4 TCs for yellow, so that's both pockets going for 4 TCs. And gray is having 1, 2, 3. Nice wall to actually protect himself. 3 TCs for this guy, and red is the last one to check for TCs. That's just one, because he was feudal fighting, and yep, he's still in feudal age, not even advancing. So he better do something right now, because he's getting farther behind, and yeah, just as I said it, he's going into castle age. And he better be careful here, because the petards are still coming up, trying to get through, and it costs him a lot of stone, Mango, to actually defend his base, and it's terribly close. Once these walls are down, he will lose stone and gold. That's not really going to be very nice for him. So, yeah, that's that. Anyway, looking at somewhere else on the map, you can see some villagers. Pink Floyd is having, or rather Miguelzin is having just 38 as Mango, otherwise it's like 48, 52. Follow Your Mind is giving the nicest boom of them all. Having a dog here with some extra food gathering, that always helps. And otherwise, it seems like LoS are right now interested in actually fortifying their position, building some better walls, so that they can safely start trading, yeah, because they really need to get rid of this wall to allow the trade. Anyway, Deal is slowly but surely getting through and forcing Mango to relinquish all the more space here. All the more space, and well, all the more stone kinda wasted on the walls here. So right now, since Mango's position, or rather role in this game, has been spent, he's waiting for his teammates to actually pick up the fight. And you can see that Grey is definitely not interested in Green getting through. And at the same time, it doesn't look like Green is actually interested in some early aggression either. Blue, no. So it seems like everybody is safely booming, just Teal. Yeah, well, he's kind of booming too, so he's just making a bit of units so that he actually forces Mango to be afraid, at least a bit. And that's pretty much it, otherwise everybody is booming here quite nicely. Although, yeah, it has to be said that Mango is very far behind. You can now see 39 Willies, and it's kind of offset by Follow Your Mind, leading by 10 Willies above the best of LoS. So, overall, we might still say that it's kind of equal. The last player to enter Castle Age has been Mango, and right there Another double wall, but still, yeah, he's trying to question the resources, and he still has enough in his base to actually last quite some time. But I'm kind of thinking he might not be able to actually hold Teal by himself if Teal actually puts everything into the attack here. Mango definitely interested in Turtlin, just now I'm researching fortified walls, so making life very difficult for Miguelzin to actually get through. And in the middle, oh, that's another Willy from Red, so what is going to happen now? Is he maybe going to drop some extra walls, or is it going for some military building? We'll see. But first, the villager needs to lose some hit points to this remaining Wolfie. And yeah, let's just see where this really is going. Alright, so yeah, this reinforcements actually trying to secure the middle here. This could be pretty important, this dock. That means that this water is in control of CZ, and it also has a pretty good span on both sides of the ways through. So that means maybe even some cannon galleons could be pretty nasty for this castle. This would be well in range from this patch of water. So that's kind of a defensive castle to actually make sure that their base is protected, and together with decent trade route. And you can see that Teal is switching the scenery here, and just in time that Mango actually switched the sides and decided to build a wall in the middle here, just at the nick of time before Teal could get through. So that's a pretty good job, and we have first guys advancing into Imperial Age, and that's 2 seasons. And already follow your mind at 100 Willies. Gach best from LoS 90, 70, 84, 90 and 54. Alright, just Mango is seriously far behind, so he'll have a bit of catching up to do. But yeah, it seems like he really has enough time. I'm kind of curious what's going to happen here at the top, because both are just interested in building a lot of walls here just to protect themselves, and I'm kind of thinking this patch of wood, this really thin patch of wood, might be important in the game for some siege managers getting through and such. Really thinking that really might be the case, and both might be interested in actually protecting themselves there. Yeah, just as I said it seems like Yezris is actually going to do that, or is he just going for some market at the top? Well, we'll see, I guess. In the middle, we see both Fallowyourmind and Yezris moving into offensive position to build a forward base, some siege workshop, and another stable from Yezris, who is Spanish. Alright, so that's going to be paladins, together with some, I guess, conquistadors if the castle is dropped. And he's not really thinking that he should abandon his base altogether, so he's prepared in case something nasty is going to happen there. And yes, it's just the market at the top to make the longest trade route. Just to make the longest trade route, and if actually Gray knew about this, it could be pretty nasty surprise if he just deleted these woods there and also the walls somewhere at the bottom, because I'm kind of thinking it might change the route of those trade cards pretty interestingly, if they are going to go to the bottom of the red. There at the bottom, nothing much happening. At the top, just a few conquistadors, not really interesting, and a lot of military buildings in the middle, together with universities, so that we have, I guess, ballistics and such to get a better siege weapons damage and accuracy on top of that. Alright, so knights are trickling in. And how's it looking here? One castle for yellow, otherwise just barracks, and yeah, right now dropping archery ranges. Archery range and stable, alright, so he'll be prepared to actually build anything. Some siege workshop from Grey, together with barracks and castle being built inside his base. And how's it looking in Teal? It is just the one castle, and that's it. Yeah, that seems to be it. Just the castle, stables dropped, and right now it kind of seems that the most battle will be happening in the middle. So that's going to be a pretty huge thing, I think. And yes, outpost has been built by Gach, so he will see if enemies coming through. I'm kind of thinking that green might be wanting to do the same, so that he's not surprised, and this wouldn't really be a nice surprise for him if that happened. At the back, market. Alright, so that's going to be a bit shorter trade route. Well, actually a lot shorter trade route for a LoS, and especially for the teal one. So that might also play a huge role there. And someone is just here as well. And first coming through. Alright, so will actually this grey one get a good shot? Oh, come on. Yeah, he does. He does get a good shot, basically killing those two. And if this other onager gets a good shot at them, that's 2 down for 1. That would be pretty sweet indeed. Alright, that's just some forgotten monk with a relic. That's, oh, not forgotten anymore. And right now that actually yellow was trying to go for an attack. Yeah, here go the CZ, and they are trying to make way through at the right. They probably shouldn't do that, because they don't want yellow to go there that easily. And, alright, wood has been taken down, and that's a lot of knights right inside Grey's base, and he has literally nothing here. Okay, so that's your job done. A bit of mango dice here from yellow, but that's not really enough. And that's really a lot of onagers just killing the villies that are trying to make some extra reinforcing gates and walls. And they're not really successful, and yeah, that's a lot of villies dead there. That's a lot of villies dead, and seriously a lot of siege from CZ. And knights have just sprawled all around the base, and Guch is being slaughtered altogether. I'm kind of thinking that he might have already given up seeing the attack, and he's just dropping into 86 villies, and he was the best with the echo, if I remember correctly, just moments earlier, and yeah, he's definitely not any longer. And so I'm not really seeing enough effort from Guch, so it's almost like he's kinda AFK, or at least was for a moment. Yeah, he hammered really hard, and it doesn't really seem like LoS actually have anything near to an army to protect all those units. You can see that TL has paladins, which is a difference from green. But will it be actually enough? I'm not thinking so. I'm really not thinking so. Kinda curious how you can have paladins where the research is actually still just being researched. That's a kind of bug, I think. Anyway, going on, and Grey is not being able to defend, and even though the second castle, or rather already third castle, has been dropped from yellow, will it be enough? I'm not thinking so. Even though they will be pretty decent, those Mangrites, in killing the onagers and those siege rams, they're not going to be any good against the paladins here. So, that's the battle here, and oh, it seems like LoS are actually getting back into the game quite nicely, even though they were very slow at the beginning, and that cost Gach a lot of villies, like at least 30 villies. 30 villies at least, maybe 40, which is pretty very bad, to be honest. He's still not out of the game, because all he has to do is make a lot of halberdiers, which are dirt cheap, and they can pretty much deal with everything that CZ are right now putting out. At the same time, in the middle, we see a bit of Conquistadors getting through this wall, and that's also a lot of Paladins getting through right into the Echo. They are trying to get into the Echo, but they can't. But we see those villagers here, and they are trying to take the battle right towards red. And yeah, even though you're sending a lot of villies here for the castle, that's pretty bad timing and pretty nasty surprise. They were so concentrating on the attack that they forgot that enemy is getting through, and yeah, this is not really great. I don't see any extra units being created from green, just now some extra paladins, but that's really not enough numbers. Well, the battle is suddenly in CZ's forward base. I'm just having a quick look at the bottom if there's something interesting happening. No, not really, but this trebuchet is really aiming to do some damage here. And it could be some secret housing of Mango if he's not careful. He's right now reinforcing the walls so that nobody gets through. I'm kind of thinking that blue might be interested in doing the same. And is green actually slowly winning here? I'm still not thinking so, but he should be, because this is inside his base. And yeah, that's where he should be, actually building it a lot faster. Come on. Are you just going to lose this trebuchet? Kinda think so. Yeah, that's a lot of paladins from Miguel's and not nearly enough from green. And where are actually the halberdiers going? At the top to actually try to defend the siege workshops, the units, which they're not really doing a good job of. And you can see that actually this has been very nicely played from LoS, and right now they decidedly have the advantage here in numbers altogether, and especially they have a huge amount of paladins right there in the middle, and this is not looking great right now for CZ. As much as it was looking great in the middle there, right now it's not. And is the gate actually open? Yeah, it was open. It was open by this one paladin. Okay, yeah, that's a traitor if you ever saw one. And that means not really cool things going to happen to the trade route of CZ right now. Not really cool things going to happen. And is Blue in time? No, he isn't. He isn't in time. And unfortunately for him, all of those paladins are in, and that's going to wreak havoc. Probably similar to actually what CZ did to Guh. A few idols here, well, few, that's actually a lot of idols for Blue. And right now the economy is being killed together with the trade cards. Well, pretty good job by Guh, or rather Miguelzin. Really very good job indeed. Yeah. I'm still kinda confused about those idols. That Fallowyourmind is not actually noticing them, even though he's having the best echo, almost the best echo. As you can see, Mango really falling behind, kinda went back into it. So yeah, slowly but surely this attacking force is being destroyed, and in the middle, CZ are finally getting back into the power and getting rid of the nonsenses here. Some nice trebuchets, that's going to be a problem. Well, not really for long, I guess, because of those mangonels. And how's looking at the bottom? Well, Teal is nicely stealing the gold from Mango, and I'm a bit thinking that Mango might be interested in actually making some surprise attack through the bottom at Teal to actually tie his paladins at the bottom to leave his teammates at the top without the need of fear of them. Oh, this is not something you want to see. Mangura is fighting on edges, yeah. That's actually not a very good sight for Fallowyourmind right now. I'm thoroughly confused why he isn't targeting those trebuchets a bit more. Yeah, right now he is, but he's kind of a bit late. But still, he seemed to have saved at least the castle of the bull. Is right now being repaired by his teammates, so pretty good team job, teamwork. And how's looking at the top? Yeah, Grey is through. Grey is through and is very interested in disrupting the trade route here at the top as well. And it's a surprise. It's a surprise for Green, and that's also because he really wasn't paying attention here. He did have the outpost, but yeah, it didn't really do him all that much good since he wasn't paying any attention at all. And this is even more problem than it was in the middle, because right now that's basically the trade route gone without any army whatsoever at the top. And this might actually be a much more serious problem for CZ than the middle there. Yep, One just going through. Castle won't really stand all that longer. And yeah. Goodbye trade cards, goodbye. So in the middle, you can finally see that CZ are recuperating and have enough army to actually go through again. But also at the same time, you can see there's a lot of paladins in Red's base. I'm not sure where they went through. Probably not here, but through the middle, and they're still doing a whole lot of damage to the economy of CZ altogether. Red is trying to catch them with this Mango Dice, but it's just running around and not doing all that much. And paladins are pretty fast, and Mango Dice are having all kinds of trouble actually defending that. And the teal dots are seriously everywhere. And yeah, trade route is nowhere. Castle down. CZ pretty much losing the fight here for the middle, or for the top. And in the middle, they're not really advancing anywhere anyway. And they really won't be looking at this army of halberdiers protecting possible paladin raids, and also a lot of Mango Dice killing anything that even resembles siege weapons. So yeah, right now CZ will be interested in actually going through and trying to target the castles to make life a bit difficult for the Mongol that relies on all of these pretty direly. Oh, that's going to be a very friendly fire. Yeah. Alright, that was kinda suicidal on the trebuchet. That didn't really help all that much. And in the meantime, there's still a lot of teal killing everything that even remotely resembles CZ team. That's pretty much a trade route kinda gone, I think. Yeah, just some remnants. Not really all that much of them. Even though Green is doing all he can. He's right now being almost tripled. Almost. Oh yeah. Right now full tripled, probably. Just full army of grey together with a lot of mango dice. And once those mango dice actually get inside the bases of CZ and kill basically anything that's left there that the paladins left, that's going to be it. Right now, a battle is raging on at the bottom as well, where it seems like Red has been finally able to corral some of the paladins from Teal, and Teal has been trying to get through. And he's building a lot of bombard towers, which is not a bad idea at all, because they're pretty good against those siege rams. And well, yeah, I'm kinda thinking those bombard towers are not going to get finished. That's just a bit too presumptuous to actually get those up. And right now it might be actually Red's time to do something here at the bottom to get through and try to kill Miguelzin. Because if he doesn't, I'm kinda thinking that the top is seriously being lost. You can see just a lot of paladins from green, and that's against Mango Dice together with Halberdiers, which is probably the best combo they could have right now against the army that CZ can muster. In the middle, there's not much happening. Yeah, it seems like another bunch of yellow Mango Dice together with a lot of siege from both of those pairs. Grey and yellow will try to actually go through, and they might succeed because there's not a lot of army from CZ, just a few halberdiers, and they will be really killed very easily, especially when it seems they're not really controlled all that much. So right now switching at the bottom, and at that end Red is getting through, and yeah, he got through with the Mango Dice actually. Right now we'll be in to harassing the economy at full. So can they get to some sweet spot? They found a market here, but they have to fight a bit of the paladins here. But this is a pretty sweet drop, a pretty sweet spot for Mango Dice, obviously, and that's going to be a lot of them dead. But they better be careful about those bombards. I'm just going to switch into Mango. God damn it, Mango said I. And Fog of War, yeah, he sees them, so he knows his raiding times will be over pretty soon. Ah, headshot! That was a nice one. And another one died. And yeah, that's the end of Red's raiding. So he better do something a bit more lasting with his presence here. And doesn't seem he's ready to actually do anything like that right now. That's a lot of red here, and that's just straight cards. And how's it looking here? Kinda equalish. Problem being that this is inside CZ base, which means that LoS are actually at an advantage, and yeah, it shows in score quite seriously. It's like 2,500 better, and that's really a lot. Seriously a lot. And it seems like CZ really don't have an answer to all these armies here. I'm not exactly sure where those villies are going. That was probably just a mistake. And they are building a siege workshop, right? So they are kind of interested in spamming the hell out of any siege they can get their hands on. It's probably going to be helps together with a lot of siege rams, yeah. And it's going to be very difficult to deal with, because right now yellow really all he has to do is wait here and let grey actually defend him and move a bit of halberdiers into this position, and they are pretty much safe from anything that CZ can muster right now. At the bottom, yeah, Mango is seeing that he has to do something here and break through. Unfortunately for him, Yellow just needs to send a bit of Mango Dice here to help a few of the paladins that are ready from Teal. And that's going to be it. And he right now needs to protect and actually build this castle, because it's very crucial. And he needs it for defensive purposes and to put out extra trebuchets to actually help him. And right now it's going to be a bit of a trouble. And he's going to lose some villagers here. So it's just a question of how many, I think. And we see the GGs, and yeah, I'm not really disputing that. That's pretty clear. And even though CZ seemed to have decent advantage at the first push, LoS waited for it, and they knew what they were doing, and it's GG 1-0 for LoS. So let's have a look at the achievements.
Start the game already!
Pink Floyd having the highest score as a Mongol in pocket. Yeah, that's kind of what you think would happen. Same goes for CZ, also Follow Your Mind. He was the most echo boom in there. Nice army from the Mongol, and otherwise a bit of a sling later on. That wasn't really at the beginning, I think. And very nice villager count, but yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't any good. Probably the strategy that Mango went aggressive at the beginning seriously hampered CZ's attempts later on, because he didn't really do any damage, as you could see. It was fast enough, but yeah, seriously couldn't do any damage at all. But I guess it was worth a try. Anyway, good job to Lords of Skulls. 1-0.